Greetings, fellow Americans. Susanna for President 2024. Welcome to the 2024 edition of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Fireside Chats. We got a few topics to talk about today. So Florida and the rest of the southeast has been hit by two massive hurricanes. The government has already distributed resources, FEMA, all that stuff. The one resource that they don't call upon is the people. There's a lot that we, the people, can do to assist in the recovery and cleanup of these areas. One of these is getting our construction companies and our companies that sell heavy machinery like bulldozers and construction equipment. Get them in on this. We can either do something like purchase some of these machinery, pieces of equipment, or we can contract with them to rent them out, something along that nature. We can do it. It's part of unifying. It's part of helping our community. We can also call on people who specialize in salvaging wood and different stuff like that, so that we can try to recycle as much of the destroyed material as possible in one way or another. We can also call upon the local community to assist. Obviously, they're going to be going through all of their personal belongings, trying to help clean up their community. But we can do more with that. And we can bring in people from communities just outside of the areas that were hit to assist those people in getting the destroyed material out onto the sidewalk for pickup and helping others to find personal belongings and just to go through everything in general. We can do it together. There's no reason why we can't. And the government doesn't call upon these resources like I would, in this, especially in this situation. We've heard a lot on the news about how these hurricanes are directly related to climate change, and I agree with it. There's a lot of evidence to support these statements. So one of the things that we have to think about is how are we going to change? How are we going to change our climate back to where it needs to be? There needs to be some scientific innovation in this area. There should have already been scientific innovation in this area. We can build the technology to clean our environment, and we have the brain power to do it. I see and hear so many people say, God bless America. God has definitely blessed America if you believe in God. We have some very smart people, and we have the ability to pull this off, to clean our environment, to recover from these disasters, and to improve our likelihood that we will recover from these disasters. And there's a whole lot of steps that we can take for this. Some of these steps include utilizing things like that aqua wall that surrounded the one of the main hospitals in one of the bigger cities that got hit. I think it was either Tallahassee or Tampa, and it protected them during Hurricane Helene. That is magnificent. That is one of the pieces of technology that we can use to safeguard our communities that are regularly hit by forces of nature like that. We can also do some things to improve the likelihood that a structure will stay standing in a tornado, especially when spawned by a hurricane. We saw this with Milton. It's a disaster area down there. There is a massive state of emergency because of all of the destruction that this last hurricane caused. We can and we will recover. There's a lot of different things that we can do. That being said, I'm going to move on to something that Donald Trump he continues to do, and that is spread lies about or misinformation about cities and towns in different areas of our nation. What he doesn't realize, or what he does realize and he doesn't care, is that spouting these lies has a significant economic impact on those communities. We've seen this in areas that have been, or in areas where there have been false claims of things like geological events and whatnot. It can damage a community. So we really need to be careful about who we're paying attention to in regards to our cities and towns. And if you ask a resident of those areas, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you that Donald Trump is bold-faced lying, just making up stories. It's important to be able to get our news from multiple sources, including local residents of the areas that politicians speak about. It really disturbs me that he is continuing to spread misinformation and continuing to state fallacies. I hope that the national community does realize that these are exactly what they've been stated to be, misinformation. I hope that it does not damage the economy of the areas that have been spoken about, but this needs to come to a stop. He needs to stop spreading misinformation. All right. Now we're going to move on to Israel. Israel, not the people, the government of Israel, specifically Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, has taken it upon himself to spread this conflict further into the Middle East. They are now attacking Lebanon as well as Gaza. Overall, it is my opinion that Netanyahu has gone too far, and he has had the opportunity and the choice to cease fire at any time, and he has chosen not to. I wonder how long it's going to take the people of Israel to eject him from office. He does not want to listen to the people. They still call for a ceasefire. Not just in Israel. Here in the United States and all over the world, there are still protests to call for ceasefire in Israel, in Gaza, and Lebanon. Netanyahu just doesn't want to listen. I believe that he is blinded by bloodlust and revenge. This is unacceptable for any politician, for any leader of our government. I do believe that his emotional state has been compromised to the point of not being able to fulfill his duties appropriately in his office, in his position. It's not up to me or the American public to eject him from office, though. It is up to Israel, the people of Israel.